Hey everybody, welcome back to Beatles News Roundup here on Vinyl Rewind. Today we are recapping the news stories from the past month, December 2024. But before we get started, if you enjoy this type of Beatles content, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you to those who already have. All right. On with the video. Well, the big news story this past month was the reunion of Paul and Ringo. On Thursday, December 19th, Ringo joined him on stage for two songs, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and Helter Skelter. The night was extra special because it was the final show of Paul's Got Back tour. Ronnie Wood also joined him on stage to play Get Back. In other Beatles-related news, the record producer responsible for a near Beatles reunion, Richard Perry, passed away at age 82. He produced such hits as I'm So Excited, Tiptoe Through the Tulips, and You're So Vain. In 1973, he produced Ringo's third studio album and got Ringo, John, and George, plus longtime Beatles friend Klaus Voormann on bass, all in the studio to record I'm the Greatest, a song written by John. Billy Preston also played on this track. Supposedly, Paul McCartney was either out of town or out of the country, otherwise he might have also shown up. Regardless, there was a lot of speculation at that time of a Beatles reunion, possibly a side band with Klaus replacing him on bass. In Richard's memoir, he wrote, "Of the moment, as I looked around the room, I realized that I was at the very epicenter of the spiritual and musical quest I had dreamed of for so many years." In Paul McCartney news, he announced that one of his New Year's resolutions for 2025 is to release a new album. Over on his website, Paul answered a bunch of fan questions, and in his response to May's question, he added that he's been working on a lot of songs and have had to put it to the side because of the tour, so I'm hoping to get back into that and finish up a lot of these songs. In Ringo news, he told Music Week that he's afraid of AI, and honestly, I can't blame him. He went on to say, anyone who knows how to use it can steal you. They can have me sing anything and it will sound like me. But the good side is the way we used it on Now and Then. God knows where it's going to go. We're all worrying about it, but nobody's really stolen anything yet. In George Harrison news, his fifth album, Dark Horse, celebrated its 50th anniversary on December 9th. Lyrically, the album reflects the unrest going on in his personal life, including his then recent breakup with Pattie Boyd. The record wasn't as well received as his previous two releases, but it did spawn two minor hit singles. My guess is we'll probably see a 50th anniversary re-release or remix sometime this year. In other George news, Beck released a cover of George's song Be Here Now exclusively for Apple Music. Check it out if you haven't already. In John Lennon news, the final puzzle piece for the John Lennon Mind Games campaign is out now, and it's a text-based interactive fiction adventure called Escape to Utopia. So basically, you play as John Lennon waking up in the bedroom of the Dakota and trying to figure out what to do with your day. It's partly inspired by text-based computer games from the 1980s. Head over to escapetonutopia.com if you want to play it. And speaking of mind games, you remember that Ultimate Collection box set, that really expensive one? Well, it's nominated for a Grammy. There's also a video narrated by Sean Ono Lennon that details what went into the making of the box set, plus some of the finer details. Head over to YouTube to check it out. In Billy Preston news, back in March of 2024, saw the premiere of a documentary based on him at the South by Southwest Film Festival. The film tells the story of his life through archival footage and interviews with Eric Clapton, Ringo Starr, Olivia Harrison, plus many others. It's directed by Paris Barclay and features an original score by Robert Glasper. No word yet on a wide release, but you may still be able to see it at a film festival near you. And this past month in Beatles history, 60 years ago, on the 4th of December, the Beatles released their fourth album, Beatles for Sale. It's a lot of force. It was made following their whirlwind tour of North America and then finished while still touring the UK. And this album is interesting because it's kind of a transitional one. They got one foot in the past and one foot in the future. Regardless, the album went on to be a big seller, topping the charts in the UK, Europe, and Australia. All right, everybody, that will do it for today. Be sure to let me know what is your favorite song off of this album and if you're into George Harrison's Dark Horse. I'm curious. Until then, thank you all so much for watching, but I especially want to thank my members over on Patreon. I'm your Vinyl Geek, and I'll catch you on the flip side.